This is the story history forgot. This is the lost chapter. Paris, 1871. In the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles, a place built to glorify the absolute power of French kings, a new German empire is proclaimed. The air is thick with victory and gunpowder. The French emperor is a prisoner of war. The city of Paris is starving, under siege, and on the brink of revolution. This was not an accident. It was a master plan, executed with brutal precision. This is the story of a war engineered not just for territory, but for a nation's soul. A war that would forge the modern world in fire and blood. This is the story history forgot. To understand the explosion, we must first see the spark. The year is 1870. On one side, the Second French Empire, led by Emperor Napoleon III. The nephew of the legendary Bonaparte, he rules a nation desperate to reclaim its glory, but one that is politically brittle and overconfident. On the other side, the rising power of Prussia. Under the strategic genius of Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, Prussia has just defeated Austria and is determined to unite the many independent German states into a single powerful empire. But there is one obstacle: France. Bismarck needed a war, a common, patriotic war against an ancient enemy to finally rally all Germans under the Prussian banner. And he found his excuse in a telegram, the Ems dispatch. A routine message about a Prussian prince refusing the Spanish throne was edited by Bismarck himself. He sharpened the language, making it seem as though King Wilhelm of Prussia had insulted the French ambassador. He released it to the press, knowing exactly what would happen. In Paris, the public outcry was immediate. The French Parliament, swept up in a wave of national fury, declared war on July 19, 1870. Bismarck had given them the rope, and France had hung itself. The trap was sprung. The world expected a clash of titans. What followed was a systematic dismantling. The French army, brave but disorganized, relied on old-fashioned tactics and grand charges. The Prussian army, however, was a machine. It was built on three revolutionary advantages. First, the general staff system, a brain trust of military planners who could coordinate vast armies with stunning efficiency. Second, universal conscription. While France had a long-service professional army, Prussia could field a massive, well-trained citizen force. And third, technology. The Prussian breech-loading needle gun could be fired from a prone position and fired faster than the French muzzle loaders. The result was a series of catastrophic French defeats. At the Battle of Gravelotte, the bloodiest day of the war, the Prussians blunted French counterattacks with sheer firepower. But the knockout blow came at Sedan. The entire French army, along with Emperor Napoleon III himself, was surrounded and forced to surrender. It was the most humiliating military defeat in French history. An entire emperor captured. In Paris, the news sparked revolution. The empire was abolished, and a new French republic was declared. But the war was far from over. The new French government vowed to fight on. But the Prussian army did not attack Paris immediately. Instead, they laid siege to it. For over 4 months, they encircled the city, cutting off all food and supplies. Inside Paris, conditions became unimaginable. People ate dogs, cats, and even animals from the zoo. As the government desperately tried to negotiate, the people of Paris grew radicalized, forming the Paris Commune, a revolutionary socialist government that seized control of the city. And on January 18, 1871, While Paris starved, a calculated act of supreme symbolism took place. In the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles, the German princes gathered. They declared Wilhelm I the German emperor. A unified Germany was born in the very palace that represented its greatest rival's former dominance. The insult was deliberate and profound. The war officially ended with the Treaty of Frankfurt. France was forced to cede the provinces of Alsace and Lorraine and pay a crushing indemnity of 5 billion francs. But the final tragedy was yet to come. The French government, now based in Versailles, turned its army on its own people, brutally crushing the Paris Commune in a bloody week known as La Semaine Sanglante, the Bloody Week. The Franco-Prussian War lasted only 10 months, but its shadow stretches across a century. It created a unified, powerful, and militaristic German empire destined to dominate European politics. It left France humiliated, bankrupt, and burning for revenge. The seizure of Alsace-Lorraine became a festering wound. The stage was set. The alliances were forged in the fires of 1871. The world war that would erupt 43 years later was not an accident. It was the final, terrible chapter of a story that began in the Hall of Mirrors. This was not just a war. It was the seed of a greater catastrophe. A lost chapter we are still learning from today. This has been the lost chapter. Some stories are forgotten, but their echoes are forever.